Celtics Talk podcast is presented by 24autogroup.com. New England gets more at 24.
What's up, everybody?
Yes.
What's up, Kayla?
Well,
I'll tell you what's up. Yet again, it's the Boston Celtics win total, because...
I feel like it's this deja vu.
Yeah, I know. We're just doing repeating the same intros over and over. Hopefully it never stops.
What's up? I'll tell you what's up.
Also, the Celtics point differential is up because they beat the Washington Wizards 146 to 101. A 45-point victory, the biggest victory in the NBA this season. And I think what's so surprising, because on paper you'd say, oh yeah, of course, because the Wizards do not play any defense, this is no surprise. And yet we know the story with the Celtics. Sometimes when there is a, let's say, inferior opponent on the other side, things get a little dicey, whether it's Brooklyn or Utah or Philadelphia. And even in the second quarter of this game, I'm thinking, oh, God, they're going to make it close again. And just the opposite. Just about everybody who touched the floor had double figures in scoring. 7 guys in double figures. Career night for Jordan Walsh. Nimi Keita looked like Shaq for portions of this game.
So true.
Where do you I don't even know. Where do you want to go? You want to start with an open thought? You want to go to your headline? What do we want to do?
Let me start with an open thought.
Okay.
Do I have to apologize to Jordan Walsh every time? we can have a 1v1 camera.
So the new script is I come on and say, hey, the win total is up. Celtics are moving on up in the East. And then you apologize to Jordan Walsh. And we'll do this for as many weeks as this keeps up.
This is true. And not only that, I have to apologize twice now because Jordan, as much as I appreciate him and love him as a player and think he is incredible, Jordan, I'm sorry for saying you needed to do more after scoring 0 points, because apparently you are shoving it down my throat and putting it in my face. Wow, your game is unbelievable. My second apology is how much he hates my nickname, the Walshing Machine. These are nights where I want to call you the Walshing Machine, but you know what? Shame on me. Another apology for a terrible nickname. I'm going to come up with a third apology. I don't even know what it is yet. So go off another game and I'll find something to say, and then you're going to hate it. And as long as you're playing great, then I'll take the L's.
Yeah, look.
He's incredible right now, Chris.
He's been unbelievable. I said it on our postgame show. I said I almost feel guilty that I perpetually, Jaylen Brown has a great night, or Derrick White had an amazing night tonight, and yet I always seem to revert back to, oh my God, it's partly because I think what I'll call the Jordan Walsh glow up was slightly unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he would compete for a role on this team. I did not expect him to be the guy that not only kicked down the playing time door, but became almost entrenched in the starting lineup that would spur the Celtics to the best basketball of the season, who would go 8 for 8 in this game, who would be a rebounding machine. I am ready to construct the Washington Monument.
Yeah, that's a good one.
In honor of the 21-year-old wing who is really just taking the Celtics to another level. And so shout out, I keep saying this, it's from Walsh to Nimi to Peyton Pritchard, all these young guys who came in as sort of raw young dudes and we didn't know where necessarily it would go, to get now 3 core pieces of your starting lineup. And Sam Hauser starts tonight. That's, a fourth. Guys coming off the bench that were either drafted or nurtured or signed and nurtured in Maine. Celtics had a tweet earlier today about how many guys on the parent roster had played in Maine at some point. Sometimes that's just an assignment game, but
shout out Maine too.
Yes, no, but it matters. Walsh getting the reps up there, Nimi getting reps up there. Taylor. It prepared Luke Cornett turning into a $10 million a year player from time in Maine to now swatting a Wagner at the buzzer and helping the Celtics in the standings while he's in San Antonio. So, I probably should have made it my headline, but it's not. It's the Celtics development squad deserves so much credit for the way they have to both be patient with some of these guys like Walsh, who's still only 21, who won't even turn 22 until March, but looks like a core piece of whatever happens next. To the players themselves for just finding a way. And yeah, I asked Jordan over the summer, I said, does it feel like a make or break year? Because everyone talks about year 3, you got to start showing something. And it felt unfair because he's still so young. But, he was pretty open and honest about it. And he knew, he had to start showing more. I didn't know we were going to get in like
No.
dunks from the dotted line and all the stuff that he's doing out there. But yeah, Michael Jordan Walsh, man.
Michael Jordan Walsh. What's funny is too, Chris, like you talk to this guy and he's almost surprising himself. I remember being physically in Orlando after he had that 3-point, game winner basically. And he was like, well, dang, I'm kind of impressed. I remember Noah Delzell kind of asked him, were you ready for that moment? He's like, I just took it. Like, he's funny with it because he's impressing himself. And now I think, not only is he impressing himself, he's starting to really believe in himself and know that he can do some things out there. And it's showing an increasing way night in, night out. And what's amazing is I feel like his confidence is not like last year. It was more he'd sub in, he would do the hustle plays, try his best. Now he's having fun with it, and when you have fun with it, it's a different kind of breakthrough. And that's what I think I'm seeing from him. Even getting hype after like and ones or putbacks or a block, like he's like and I feel like he's coming out of his shell and starting to own his presence on the court. And in his role as a starter. So it's fun to watch. You mentioned him being 21 years old, which blows my mind. And going back to Ugo, who's 19, it's like, wow, not only do I feel old, they're incredible.
And Minot's like 23, and now we have this group of wings who are just a bunch of dogs who want to go out and do good things.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch. And when Jaylen's not even available. Now, you can argue, okay, this team going into this only had 3 wins. Fine. But they were 2-2 in their last 4. They put up pretty, good points against good teams.
Chris Middleton had a pretty good second quarter where you're like, oh, is this going to get interesting?
Right.
And then the Celtics are like, pow, pow.
These guys are fun to watch.
It's that's
pleasantly surprising.
It's I think about some of the lower points of the year, which is crazy to say because we're only a quarter of the way through. But it is kind of remarkable how quickly it went from, man, this is a roller coaster, from the 0-3 start to some of those ups and downs and losing like really winnable games against teams like Utah. That putback will just like is seared in my brain. The Philly putback where Oubre swooped in. You felt like they could have been so much better, but hey, maybe this is the way it's going to be. They're not good in late game situations. And now you look up, and we had a stat on postgame where it was they have the most wins by 27 plus points, tied with Oklahoma City.
That's crazy.
Who is like a wrecking ball right now. The Celtics have the 4th ranked offense in the entire NBA, even though Derrick White until tonight hadn't quite busted out of his own shell. And like this thing is just really, it feels like it's really rolling right now.
What do you think the switch is? Like what do you...
I mean, it's hard not to trace it back to when Jordan Walsh entered the starting lineup. And that's no disrespect to Sam at the start of the year or Minot, who was like really good for a couple of games there. But it just feels like Walsh gave them a dynamic that they were kind of searching for, both with rebounding and his energy on the glass. But, I mean, tonight you just saw the basketball IQ coming through where he is, making plays that I didn't know he could make. And whether it's, when he's playing the big man in the short roll or, just finding a teammate underneath the basket, I'm just really impressed that the glow up happened as quickly as it did. That so many elements of what he can do to help them are shining through now. And I think it's just like, hand in hand with that, Nimi has been great out at every single time he's been on the court. A lot of the younger players have come along faster than I thought. And so from Ugo's energy, which might have saved you the other night against teams like New York, just everybody. Minot has had games where he's changed the energy. And so.
How about Ugo's block? Holy smokes.
My goodness.
And the hustle to get there.
Yes. I mean, it's a lot of fun to watch. And like you said, I didn't know that they'd maybe turn the corner. And, I'm always very careful with this stuff because we're prisoners of the moment. And you have one like good 10-game stretch. You could have a very bad 10-game stretch. But nothing about the way they're playing right now feels unsustainable. In fact, I still think there's like a whole nother level for them to get to. And that's what's exciting to me, where if you get through the next couple of games, the Lakers, Toronto, then you get into those NBA Cup games. It's going to be very spaced out, 2 games in 11 days. Yeah. You're going to get some rest. You're going to be just, you always say this NBA season starts on Christmas. And by Christmas, if you're still top 6 in the East, if there's a lot of good things happening, yeah, it'll be good while we're unwrapping our presents and enjoying the day with no game.
Yeah. Which now I feel like
Now the NBA is like,
the NBA should
bleep.
rewrite the schedule and be like, oh
Yeah.
wow, I actually didn't know that the Celtics were going to be this competitive.
I'm trying to think who's on Christmas that they could boot, but I'm sure there's a terrible team that
oh yeah,
and
you know what? I hope it is a terrible game, so the Celtics can enjoy their Christmas day and say, that should have been us. But now I get to open up presents with my kids on
which
Christmas
is
Day.
A victory for everybody.
Exactly.
What was your headline? We might have touched on some of it, but you had the longest headline of the season, right?
I always have the longest headline of the season.
You could not work in the newspaper business.
I don't know why I thought I ate with this or flexed with this. it sounded better in the moment. Prisoner of no JB, say less. White, Walsh and Company show the nation's best.
Oh, I didn't even notice the little half rhyme.
Well, you know why you didn't notice it? Because when I first said it,
yeah. Oh,
I didn't have nation.
Okay.
And then and text everyone. If you don't know, you should know. You can edit. Obviously, I have a lot of experience with editing my text because I'm like, wait, no. If I'm in a fight with someone,
yeah, and you're wrong,
and
go
I'm
back.
like, this sounds so much better. Edit. The problem is, iMessage.
How many fights are you getting into?
Oh, honey.
Okay.
Honey, hush, as my grandma says. But the problem is, it shows the edit, so it's not as
we
big
gotta
of
figure
a
out
flex.
how to
But
disguise
anyway,
that.
those guys show the nation's best.
I want to say that this is the nation's best, but we showed something.
It sounded great.
Yeah,
It
no,
sounded great.
I like where your head was at. But I mean, how impressive is that? I mean, for me, it comes down to I was worried that without JB, things would look a little clunky. This game could be a little bit more uncomfortable, and heaven forbid if they had dropped it. Now, the next time you try to get JB to take a day off, he's like,
can't.
Yeah, I can't. I think it's a whole lot easier to pitch someone on the idea of downshifting and taking a day off when everybody else takes care of business. And that's so encouraging for me that, again, up and down, like from Peyton getting hot for a stretch and doing what he does at the end of the quarters and, all the assists and Derrick's night. It like everybody had their little hand in this, and
that's what made it so hard to write the headline.
Right.
When we're asked to write headlines or like come up with a headline, we're always thinking of like, okay, who shined tonight, or what was the moment, or what's the overall storyline.
How do you pluck one player from this game when everybody had?
And that's why I wrote and Company, because I'm like, I don't know who else to pick.
The only rules is that I can never pick Ugo because people are already on my case about how much I love him.
But. It is what it is.
Yeah, I know.
So,
it's
but
okay.
it's working, so it's fine.
He had some good moments in this game.
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna resist the urge to.
You didn't even mention him right out the gate in post game.
I know.
And then you were like, "How dare I?"
I will say, and we'll get back to your headline, but I want to give credit to Scal. 3 straight Tommy Awards for Jordan Walsh, after he 3 times in a row didn't pick him when he was clearly the Tommy Award winner.
What did you say post game?
I said he is no longer. I said he's still on probation.
He's still on probation.
But
still on
because
house
one of the ones was Eddie gave it out. So like Scal's really only given Jordan 2 of them.
Oh yeah, no.
But the fact is, I'll be honest. It's been a while since I can remember someone winning 3 in a row. Like
it's hard to not give it to this guy.
But he's earned it every single night, and which is why I feel less guilty about gushing about Jordan Walsh every night, because it's like, dude's playing good enough. I can come on here and gush about him.
When is Scal out of probation? Like at what number? And does it have to do with Jordan, or can it be?
No, it doesn't have to be Jordan related. It's just he has to pick the right guy. They're nice.
Who does he favor too much? Jaylen? Derrick?
No, you know what? My only qualm is always when someone wins like player of the game, where like Jaylen has a big night and he's our player of the game. The spirit of the Tommy Award is supposed to be like a lesser contributor who like sort of did something that changed the game. And look, there are nights where there's just one dude. I've used dude a lot on this podcast. There's one guy who like definitively changed the vibe of the game or had a sequence that mattered. And sometimes you just got to give it to the superstar. But sometimes,
I like that, the spirit of
the
Tommy Award.
Sometimes Jaylen gets player of the game and then he gets the Tommy Award. And I'm like, there has to be someone else who did something in that game. Like, give it to Nemi. Nemi had like a sequence or something. And so, but he, it's a tough job. He's got to do. I mean, they got to decide these things on the fly. There's so many times where in the fourth quarter, especially, we'll be screaming at each other in the office or whatever, or when we're on site for the games, trying to pick it. But no, 3 times in a row now, we've made the right choice. Jordan Walsh, who should have 6 Tommy Awards, but he's already up, I think, to number 2 with 3. So good for him.
Good for him.
Having a vehicle you can rely on, that's important. That's why you can rely on 24 Auto Group. They will treat you like family. And that's because they are family owned and operated. They're honest, easy to work with, and they just get it. Whether you're looking for something sporty, something luxurious, or just a solid everyday ride, 24 Auto Group always comes through. With 9 brands and 11 locations across New England, there's something for everyone. And here's the best part. They've got the knack to save you more on a new or pre-owned vehicle, and the knack to pay you more for your trade, up to $2,400 over book value. You can even drive home with just $24 down. So if you want the best deal without the runaround, go see my guys at 24 Auto Group, because you always get more at 24. Online at 24autogroup.com.
Derrick White.
Yeah. Well, so my headline, we are much too deep for like any headline to be
the headline's buried. We're 30 minutes in.
Yeah, I would have to lean Ugo, and I don't have an Ugo pun in my mind right now. My headline was going to be the Bald and the Beautiful, because
that's good.
Jordan and Derrick were fantastic in this game.
Wait, that's so good. I like
yeah,
that.
and so we've already gushed about Jordan, so let's do the other side of it. Derrick White, who's kind of gone through it. More probably, and I hate to say this, but probably more down than up, in terms of at least shooting efficiency. It's still been super impactful in Derrick White ways with the stalks and the playmaking and all that, but just hasn't been Derrick. A couple fourth quarters we've seen it, we're like, ooh, Derrick's back.
Yeah.
Tonight felt like as much of, and I think he played just under 30 minutes, as much of a full Derrick game as we've gotten this year.
For sure.
And the pockets were full of threes. He was sidestep, bah. And when he's just like, that's a different level. Like, there's catch and shoot Derrick nights where balls flying over to him and he's making threes. This was taking guys off the dribble, a little sidestep. Didn't matter where he was on the court. That thing was snapping the net. And that was, to me, was okay. He's maybe. We always want to trade cautiously here. Maybe he's turning a corner.
And then checking the pockets. Anytime Derrick is checking the pockets,
it's a good sign.
That is a great sign, because you know where his mental is at. Yeah. You know where his mentality is at.
And so I think it was 9 assists, 7 rebounds. I said if he played a normal allotment of minutes, say 34 to 36 minutes, he would have had a 40-point triple-double.
Yeah.
But they didn't need to. He got to chill for the fourth quarter.
I saw tweets of if Jaylen had played this game.
Oh, God.
I can't even imagine. Maybe we don't want to. It was good that he rested, in my opinion.
60 points.
Yeah.
It's so good on Derrick. This was a night that he needed.
But I agree. And it's also good for Derrick to not always have Jaylen in there, because he needs to internally, and he can do it with Jaylen out there, but when he's not, he's kind of the next man up. Like, he is that next number one leader. And the guys are looking to him. The guys are also turning within themselves and saying, okay, how am I going to contribute here tonight? But for Derrick to go out there and do what he did without Jaylen kind of saving the day maybe in the third quarter, and then Derrick goes and does this thing in the fourth, from start to finish, it had to be Derrick. It had to be the rest of them. And he goes off to have an incredible night. So that only gives them, they can go to sleep at night knowing like, oh, I'm a baller. This is what I do. And now we have the Lakers coming up, which is nothing short of light. Mind you, we don't know about LeBron's status.
Right.
We don't know what we do know about.
We do know about Luka.
Luka, yeah.
We'll get there in a second. I forget that if you're watching on the video version, I have Derrick lingering over my shoulder here.
Not Brad tonight, Derrick.
Yeah, and he is staring a hole through my analysis. I'm going to whisper this with Derrick behind me. He did have one low moment when Champagny threw down one of the most vicious dunks of the year on top of him and then mean mugged him.
The mean mug was crazy. Did you stop and be like, well, he smiled too. He's like,
remember, he played here. So, like, I'm sure there's always practices and stuff like that.
It was kind of funny. Like, they were laughing. But
like, if you're going to mean mug someone, Derrick White is probably the last dude. But also, the flip side of it is, because at the moment I was like, like I got real worked up. But then I was like, you know what? If I ever threw down a dunk like that, I don't care who's on the other side. I would have sat there with like an hour and stared at them, like, because that would be my career pinnacle.
So
That's me on an 8-foot hoop on a 12-year-old kid. Just
Derrick's not a mean mugger though, too. Like, if you were to reverse,
yeah,
I don't see him mean mugging.
Well, it's funny because I can't remember Derrick getting caught like that before. Minot dunked on him in Minnesota last year, but it was like a business decision. Derrick got out of the way.
Minot will mean mug.
Yeah.
Minot
Minot will he'll probably just scream or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see. Champagne came out onto the court at halftime and like found Derrick. And you could tell they were like laughing about it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's like, hey, I'm so sorry, man.
He's like, hey, like I still respect you,
and,
you're my guy.
and I'm sure Derrick is kind of like,
like you got that one.
You got that. Yeah, I'm gonna let you do it.
Let you have that.
No bad blood there. But otherwise, Derrick White had a great night.
So one low moment, and at worst, I'd rather getting a posterized,
Yeah.
like a poster versus
Throwing
like
yourself in
four
there.
turnovers in a quarter, like at least that. We'll take the mean mug, Derrick. It's fine.
Let me see if I have anything else on my list here, and then we can get to the Lakers. No, just it's all like Ugo, who didn't play a whole lot in this game, but had some fun moments. Walsh.
Yep.
Oh, Derrick got dunked on.
How about Simons in that fourth quarter though too?
Yeah, the Inferno showed up for a little bit.
Yeah.
That was nice. I thought they would need more of that tonight. It turned out just to kind of stretch things out, and then some of the other guys get in there. It's nice to see Harper Jr. get in there and do his thing. And so good overall feel good win. So let's get to it.
Okay.
Lakers up next.
Let's go.
Less than 24 hours. So make sure you listen to this podcast quickly out
Yes.
there, people. I'm sending it subliminally to
Do
you.
it on your driveway.
On your drive to the Garden, before the Laker game. So you mentioned it. Luka is back home in Slovenia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And birth of his, I believe, his second child.
Baby, yeah.
He missed tonight's game against the Raptors, which the Lakers won. And we'll miss this one. I've joked, and I'm fearful that the Laker fans are going to see our post-game plus and rip it as if I was being serious. But I joked that Luka planned 9 months in advance to have the birth of a child so he didn't have to go up against JB after what Jaylen Brown did to him in the finals.
I hope that catches fire. I really hope that catches
the
fire.
way the Knicks fans were all over it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Can we get that going?
Tweet
it out now, guys.
Sometimes I
That's a good one.
I deliver it and I say I didn't put enough sarcasm into it to make sure that people would know.
I love that. He waited 9 months so he didn't play the Celtics.
Someone would be like, you can't plan a birth. And I was like,
they
didn't know the schedule 9 months ago. Was Luka even traded 9 months? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is
February.
funny. It is funny to think because I was really excited for that matchup. We obviously don't get it very often, especially not with Luka in purple and gold. I do wish we could have seen it. Maybe we'll get to see it later in the year. But certainly, like Luka should be motivated. Jaylen was NBA Finals for MVP for a reason.
Yeah.
And then LeBron played tonight, did not score 10 points for the first time in 1,200 and something games, like something crazy. 8 points overall, but they do beat the Raptors, who I've told you I think are a little bit fraudulent. So I'm not surprised by the outcome. I am surprised that with no Luka and a quiet LeBron night, they still found a way, which tells you, regardless of what version of the Lakers shows up tomorrow, it will be a bit of a grind.
They only won by 3 to the Raptors. Again, could be a fraudulent team, as you mentioned. Austin Reeves, 44 points. He had 10 dimes, I believe, or he had a double-double with assists and points. And I just think, who knows? Maybe you get I want to see the best, and I say this slightly, but I want to see the best of LeBron. Mm-hmm. And if Luka's not going to be there, I want to see the best of LeBron, the best of Austin Reeves, the best of this team collectively, so we can really see how the Celtics respond to a good team. Like, that's what I want to see.
Being the last game of a 5-7, even though you did buy JB a night off, I would be okay if it was the lesser version of the Lakers.
It is early in the
but
season.
even if LeBron doesn't play, the way Reeves is playing, the way that team is operating, they're clearly been in the mix in the West. It's going to be a challenge. I also have PTSD from a couple seasons ago where Celtics versus Lakers. Celtics were a dominant team during the regular season. The Lakers come in, they don't play Anthony Davis or LeBron James, and they win that game.
Yeah,
and one of the worst Celtics performances of that season. And, look, every season has a couple duds in there. You don't love it to happen against the Lakers. And so I think the Celtics will be locked in and ready to go and trying to cap this streak off. It's funny like that. In a way that Raptors game is probably a little bit more important. A team that's ahead of you or in the mix with you in the Eastern Conference, and you'd like to put your best foot forward there on a weird Sunday 3:30 game. And yet, like one at a time, they took care of business tonight. They were laser focused. Not even laser focused against the Lakers.
I do want to see it. I flash back to the Lakers Celtics and when Al is going 1v1 and has his arms spread against LeBron, and the crowd is losing its mind, and it's 1v1 and he gets a stop, and it's Al Horford on LeBron James. So who is going to be, not Al, I like when everyone has their own, like Luke Cornett is Luke Cornett, Al, etc. Yep. But who's going to be the one to level up against LBJ and have his arms out and be like, okay.
Let me tell you, it's going to be the best versus best.
Is it Ugo?
LeBron versus Ugo.
Is it Ugo? You heard it here first, folks.
Maybe it'll be Jordan.
You have an Al comparison to an Ugo comparison. 19 versus 40. See, 42 or 43 right? Now.
We went from one age spectrum to the other.
I'm for it.
I'm here for it. Like, how perfect that LeBron, who came in and was anointed as a teenager, passing the baton to Ugo Gonzalez.
You think Ugo has like a poster of LeBron in his room?
I actually feel bad. You think about it, probably should have brought this up on our programming at some point, but Ugo played for Real Madrid, which is the same program that Luka came out of. Mm-hmm. And so I think he would have been, little jazzed up to go up against Luka. Yeah. They'll have to wait.
It's okay. He can handle LeBron. One task
at
a time.
And that would be, I'm sure he'd be
But
equally...
you read all the major stars that Ugo has matched up against so far.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Donovan Mitchell, all these guys.
11 different All-Stars, I think
LeBron
the number is.
onto that list. I'm ready for that matchup.
I'm all for it. Like I said, every rep you can get him is a step in the right direction. All these wings, Minot, Walsh. The dog pound is just fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and do something with that. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna work on it. We gotta be back here in less than 24 hours for Celtics Lakers. Go like, go subscribe, go check us out on the YouTube page. We'll catch you tomorrow night from the Garden.